So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here.
What is going on, everybody? Today's episode is all about how to know when it's time to rebrand your business. So let's dive into this. You know, bad branding is like carbon monoxide. It is a silent killer, my friends. Most of the time, we don't even know what's wrong with our branding because nobody's pointing it out. And when most business owners finally realize that it's time, it's often too late. So I want to take some time today and dive in and look at some symptoms of what might be causing a slow death of your brand and how we might be able to course correct this for you and get you back on track. But first, this quick message. If you're a business owner who feels your branding isn't truly representing the value that you deliver, check out this free video training that will help you level up your brand's messaging and online presence so that you can start attracting higher quality clients. Visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net/level up my branding. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? So first off, what does branding mean? I'm going to get into that for a second so people understand. So when we talk about rebranding our business, we're talking about breathing new life into your business's current image or online presence, to renew, to reinvent, to make it more attractive, bring it up to date, bring it to be more modern, have it to be more effective and impactful to the people that you want to serve. So now that we know what rebranding is, how do we know that it's time to rebrand our business? So I'm going to give you about 6 different signs that it might be saying for your business, you know what? It's time for a rebrand, my friend. So the first one is, what does your brand look like? And does it look outdated? I didn't know this. When I was doing my research for this episode, I found this blog that talked about how Harley Davidson, the motorcycle company, almost went out of business in 1985 because their market was evolving and they weren't. People didn't want those big hog motorcycles anymore. And they wanted a smaller bike that was more nimble. So when they finally realized that, they started to change their product line and they came out with bikes like the V-Rod. Here's a funny story. So when I got my bike permit, I don't ride bikes anymore. I just never felt comfortable on bikes, and it's just a personal thing. I went out a few times, wasn't a huge fan, but I actually learned, my cousin Joe actually taught me how to ride a bike. And the first bike that I learned how to ride on was a V-Rod. Most people learn how to ride a motorcycle like on a moped or like a small little dirt bike. Yeah, no, I went right in for the V-Rod. Let's learn how to ride a motorcycle on a V-Rod. But anyway, it was actually a pretty easy bike to ride, and it was helpful for me because it was a little bit of a smaller bike. It wasn't as heavy, but that's a funny little story. But had Harley Davidson not changed their product line, they probably would have went out, right? And they were going to be outdated at that point, right? So that's number one. If your brand's starting to feel and look and outdated, it might be time for a rebrand. Okay. Now, What if your business is outgrowing itself? You know how like crabs outgrow their shell? Well, so do businesses, right? So when your business is growing and evolving, it's time to give your business more room to grow, right? So your brand should reflect how your business is growing. I'll give you a quick example. I have a new brand accelerator client that signed up a couple weeks ago, and we just got done through the strategy process of the program, and now we're getting into the rebrand and identity phase. But I asked him, what were why rebrand your business? And he said, quite frankly, the website that we have right now is about 3.5 years old, and it doesn't reflect what we do for our clients today. We're looking at, my website looks like I'm an Amazon drop shipper, but we do so much more than that. And the other thing he said was, I never really had a professional come in and actually brand my business. And it's time. We're at that level. We're at that growth stage. We're ready for this. We want to take this business to a 10, 20, and then 10 years down the line, a 50 or $100 million business. Like, we need this today. And so he just outgrew himself, and he knew the importance of making sure that his brand came up with his growth. So very, very important there to understand that if you feel like your business is outgrowing itself, it may be time for a rebrand. Okay. How about the next one? The market's evolving and you're not. Okay. I just had this conversation with my cousin yesterday about how my business has evolved over time, and I'm 40 years old now, and I've been doing this for 14 years. So what does my business look like 10 years from now when I'm 50? Right? Am I still going to be the brand doctor? Am I still going to be doing the things that I'm doing now? I don't know. Right? This business may evolve into something else. And I'll give you a quick example. This business was not what it was 14 years ago. 14 years ago, I was a freelance graphic designer making club flyers for the nightlife industry, which evolved into more corporate design. And I started working with high-end restaurants and high-end salons, and I started to get more corporate work as I got out of that industry and got out of that, life. When I was a young kid, going to the clubs and being part of the team was like awesome. You walked in, you always got the perks of being part of the team, right? But eventually I got married. You don't go out like that anymore, right? So, eventually I had to evolve who my clients were. But what happened was, as I was going through that process, Fiverr comes out, disrupts the design industry completely. And now Henry Kaminski is a commodity because there's a gazillion designers out there on Fiverr that's doing $5 design work, where Henry used to charge $300, $400 for that piece. So now what? It forced me to evolve. I had to start to think about, how am I going to create greater value for the clients that I want to serve? Otherwise, I'm dead. That's it. Finito. So when your market's evolving and you're not, might be time for a rebrand, my friends. All right. What about the next one? Your brand's getting a bad rap. The one brand that sticks out to me the most, that did such a great job with this, is Domino's Pizza. I don't know about you guys, but have you had Domino's Pizza? Last time I enjoyed Domino's Pizza, back before they rebranded, was in college, when I used to come back from parties and there was nothing else to eat and we had to call Domino's, right? But here's the thing. The cardboard box that the Domino's Pizza came in probably tasted better than the pizza itself back then. Agree? Domino's Pizza was awful back in the day. It was like cardboard pizza, seriously. So what did Domino's do? They couldn't ignore it anymore. So what did they do? They took all their negative reviews of people talking about how awful Domino's pizza was, how it tasted. And they started to take those reviews and put them on their TV commercials. Now, that's a ballsy thing to do, but you know what? It saved their ass. It really did. So they made their rebrand public and transparent, and they weren't hiding that their pizza sucked. So they blatantly put it out there, and they said, this is how we're going to fix it. All new ingredients, new process, da-da-da-da. And boom, their stocks skyrocketed after they did that. It's powerful. So if your brand's getting a bad rap, it might be time to step up your game and rebrand. How about this one? It's time to reach a new audience, a new market segment. Give you another quick example. Brand Accelerator client Jason Lynette. He's about to launch his business. He's about to launch his rebrand next week, early next week. We just transferred his funnels over to his account, and we're setting everything up, and his website's just about done. We're going to port everything over to him and set it all up and launch next week. But when he came to me a couple months ago, he said, listen, Henry, I've been in this game for a decade plus. I built a self-sustaining online business that's bringing in 600, I think he said something like $600K a year. He's like, that business is running on its own now, and it's serving an awesome audience. And I love that audience, but I want to reach another audience now. My business has matured, and I want to go after the solopreneur audience. I want to go after the people that have these small businesses and really help them grow online. And I was like, this is fantastic. He says, yeah, but my current branding is only focused towards that particular client. And it's not going to make sense to the new clients, the new audience that I want to serve. So I have to do something here that's going to attract this type of client. And so he went through the rebrand process. Okay. So there's one more. Okay. One more sign that your brand might need a rebrand. And it's that your brand or your business is just being misunderstood. Like, people don't get what you do. And when that happens, you start attracting the wrong audience. And now it's just frustration after frustration, a bunch of time wasters, where you could be completely rebranded and that message, that look, that feel is completely disqualifying those people. And now you're attracting the right clients. So let's imagine here for a second, okay? You put your business through the Rebrand car wash. You start to feel yourself as the CEO or business owner. You start to feel rejuvenated. You start to make a bigger impact. You start closing more sales. Your brand starts to get recognized in the industry as a leader. Your audience starts to grow more rapidly. What's that mean for your business? I want to paint that picture there for a second. You know, one of the things that has really helped me catapult my business to that 7-figure level was getting the help from the people I needed to get help from, which gave me the confidence to push through those tough times. I'll give you a quick story and then we'll wrap up here, right? I don't want to get too off track. But when I was in college, I hated it because it was in the middle of Amish country, right? The first 2 years I was ready to drop out. I was like a fish out of water, this like city urban kid from Jersey in the middle of Amish country going to college. And I said to myself, if I don't get involved here, I'm going to leave because this place isn't for me. And so what I thought about was, all right, well, how do I get involved? I'm not interested in Greek life. So how do I get involved? So after my sophomore year, I qualified to be an orientation facilitator. So when the new incoming freshmen would come in the summer before the semester started, they would sleep overnight and guides like me would show them around for 2 days so they became acclimated to the school before they got here for their first semester. And let me tell you something. When I got involved, it changed everything for me. But if it wasn't for my mentor at the time, he was my counselor. You know, your guidance counselor in college. I forget what they called them. But he was the one that said, Henry, you got to get involved. And he was like pushing me to do it because he's like, dude, you would be awesome for this position. And I went and I did it. And it gave me such confidence. And it gave me something to do. It gave me the rejuvenation that I needed to stay there and see that college degree out at that one facility, that one school. Had I not had that push, I probably would have left. So the point that I'm trying to make is when I had my mentors pushing me, when I felt like I was done, and they showed me the direction and they helped me and they pushed me and they helped me and they pushed me over and over and over again, they gave me the strength. They didn't even realize it, but they gave me the strength to go. Now I'm a doer. I'm not going to sit around. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to get it done. You know, Russell Brunson still teases me to this day because when I was going through my struggles and he was coaching me at the time, I was thanking him left and right for the accomplishments that I was making at the time. He says, Henry, I'm not doing anything here. I'm just like pointing my finger and telling you where to go. You're doing everything. And that was it. That's all it took. So my question to you is, what are you waiting for? If any of what I said today is true about your brand, what's it costing you if you don't make a move now? We think we have the time, but in reality, we don't. So let's make it happen, guys. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you on the next one real soon. Take care.
Hey everyone, this is Henry Kaminski Jr. again, and really quick, I want to invite you to a one-on-one consult with me right now if you're looking for the clarity and focus you need to build your brand. Over the past 13 years, I've served hundreds of entrepreneurs that have great products but struggled tremendously with articulating its value to their ideal customers. You didn't get into business to just change a few lives, did you? Your ideal clients need you. And when your brand has precision-crafted messaging coupled with beautifully thoughtful design that sounds, looks, and feels like you, they'll know you're the perfect match for them. If this is something you're struggling with, what I want you to do right now is pause this audio and go visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net, and book your one-on-one consult call with me. Remember, the quality of your brand will determine the quality of your clients. And the quality of your clients will determine the quality of your life.